Today, I'll be reviewing the top 10 open-world games that have recently grabbed full attention in Android and iOS arenas. Let's begin. PreMaster. Sefue attempts to bring the essence of the console title Sifu to mobile. Set in the aftermath of the Dragon's Head War, the game takes place in Caus City, a coastal town built on the ruins of several small fishing villages. You play as Hujin. He's a martial arts Sifu who arrives in Caus City after receiving a mysterious letter about his missing brother, Hujia. As you navigate the city, you uncover a dark conspiracy tied to your brother's disappearance, all while training in martial arts and seeking to fulfill your mission. I think the game's strength lies in its combat mechanics. The martial arts moves are relatively responsive, and you'll feel the weight of each blow. While it might not reach the depth of the console game, it still provides a great combat experience. In terms of gameplay, you'll engage in combat, complete missions, and level up your character through a standard RPG progression system. If you're expecting the same level of polish and content as the console game, you'll be disappointed. Just keep in mind that this is a scaled-down version of Sifu, and you're good to go. SurZeus is a game set in a post-apocalyptic zombie world where you must scavenge for resources, craft weapons, build shelters, and manage hunger and thirst to stay alive. The game features a dynamic day and night cycle. From decimated towns to dense forests, the exploration of its world build-up can feel repetitive. The objectives don't always contribute to a great sense of discovery, at least I never felt that. Crafting is a big part of the game. It works, but it's not as deep as other survival games. The fighting is pretty fun when you're up close. Swinging weapons felt good to me. The zombies are kinda dumb. They always do the same stuff. So yeah, after a while, smashing zombie heads gets old. The gunplay is basic, and ammo scarcity often forces players to rely on crafted weapons. Moreover, the game's performance declines during intense moments. The visuals, while decent, don't always impress. SurZeus provides a solid survival experience with good resource management and crafting mechanics, but it falters in enemy variety, AI depth, and world building. If you're looking for a simple survival challenge, it's worth a try. But those seeking a deeper, more immersive experience may find it lacking. To be precise, I loved Creatures of the Deep. Fishing. I must say their graphics and sound are the coolest. It's a good thing that the gameplay mechanics are simple enough and it doesn't force you to do IAP. However, it does need a stable internet connection, so you can't play from anywhere. I really felt the progression to be a bit slow sometimes, especially in later games. Another good thing is that they don't force you to watch ads. It takes a little while to get the hang of some of the controls, and it would be helpful to have a way to quickly check how to play the mini games that pop up with certain fish. The first time I hooked one, it got away in less than a second because I had no clue what the game wanted me to do. Honestly, I'm not asking for a full tutorial, just a simple rules guide. We can reference from time to time would be great. If you're pissed off about the sluggishness, you can increase the XP per fish caught. It takes a lot of time to level up, and a little extra XP would make a big difference. Some fish are only available seasonally, and for players who don't have the luxury of playing year-round, it can be frustrating. Don't be desperate when it happens to you. Move on to the next fish, and life will be normal again. Boat upgrades would be a game changer, especially if we're talking speed. Overall, Creatures of the Deep, fishing has really impressed me. Developed by Polish studio Rage Quit Games, this mobile survival game sets you in a radioactive wasteland in the year 2061. The Earth has been forever altered by nuclear fallout. Humanity is struggling to rebuild, and you'll have to scavenge and fight your way through a world overrun by mutated creatures and hostile humanoids. You begin as a lone survivor. After the disaster, resources are scarce, and your goal is to survive by hunting, gathering, and crafting. You'll spend much of your time exploring the wasteland, gathering supplies, and building up your base to withstand the harsh environment. In typical survival game fashion, expect to fend off mutated creatures that are just as hungry for survival as you are. The game blends classic survival mechanics with PvP and co-op play. This allows you to either compete or team up with other players as you navigate this dangerous world. The world is open for exploration, and the challenges change based on your interactions with other survivors. So no two experiences will be exactly the same. The graphics are solid for a mobile game. While the combat system can be a bit awkward at times, it still gets the job done. Offroad. The graphics are impressive for a mobile game with Offroad, and the level of detail in the trucks and landscapes is fantastic. There's a huge variety of 4x4 trucks to choose from, and the driving physics are spot on, making it feel like you're really out there in the mud. The game also offers you a lot of customization options and upgrades, so you can fine-tune your trucks to suit your playstyle. There are plenty of off-road racing challenges to keep you engaged. As of now, I've almost completed the first open-world map. I'm at 97%. I found all the buildings earnings and finish the towing missions, but there are still 3 cards left to find. However, there are a few things that are holding me back from fully enjoying the experience. For one, earning gold coins is painfully slow. The most I've been able to collect in one go is 249, and that's after completing multiple missions, but those stop showing up after a while. Overall, I do enjoy Offroad. It's a fun, challenging experience with great visuals and lots of content, but there are definitely some areas that need improvement, particularly in the gold earning system and the unlockable content. I'm hoping the developers add more features and fixes in future. I've spent a solid 75 plus hours on Dragon Quest monsters in just a week, and I feel like I've seen enough to share my thoughts. I'm an old school gamer who loves monster battles like Dragon Warrior monsters and Pokemon, so this game is right up my alley. The monsters are the heart of the game. The monster synthesis system is awesome, especially with the reverse synthesis feature, which adds a lot of quality of life improvements. My only veto is the post-game 4-body synthesis mechanic, which feels like a poorly explained secret. This will leave you to figure it out online. If we're talking voice acting, it is campy but fun. I enjoyed the over-the-top performances, and the humorous puns really made me smile. The open world design felt interesting to me. The seasonal changes, they really excelled with it. The dungeons were a pleasant surprise, especially the puzzle-heavy ones near the end. However, I found the UI clunky and unintuitive. Menu lag also became an issue. The fun of discovering new things is lost when you have to look up outside guides to unlock certain monsters. Despite the performance issues and questionable DLC practices, this one is a fun monster collector at its core. If you love the genre, there's plenty of enjoyment to be had. Car Parking Multiplayer 2 is a very realistic game. Its graphics are great. You can customize your character, your garage, and even your car. The graphics are stunning, a huge step up from CPM 1, but I'd love to see more Honda cars added in future updates. In CPM 2, you can pass the driving test by parking a car. You can race too. Having a car to meet with your friends or random people with the same passion is the best. The game is pretty good or close to perfection, except the parts when you need to work too hard to get gold coins. CPM 2 retains the UI from CPM 1, but they should have reskinned it for more pleasing looks. The controls are okay, but it takes some time to get used to them. I think the visuals are pretty good, with all the lighting, weathering effects, reflections, etc. The sound may not be realistic, but it is acceptable. The downside of this game is that some cars have few to mostly non-customizable kits. Drag race reward should have reset weekly. Tasks are a little bit hard to do, and optimization for this matter needs to be patched. I look forward to future updates. Overall, if you're a car enthusiast, you should definitely try this game. The Pathless is a refreshing change of pace with its no game over mechanic. Somehow it still manages to build that intense dread of dying during each boss fight. Honestly, the boss fights are the highlight of the game, some of the best I've ever experienced. The gameplay is fluid, the art and music are incredible, and the puzzles are fun without feeling frustrating. The game world looks amazing and is beautifully designed from the moment you start. While it took me some time to get used to it and the game mechanics, I had a great time. The game has unique puzzles that get harder as you explore new areas. Each puzzle gives you clues from the environment to help you figure out what to do. Even though many puzzles use similar clues, each one has its own layout and solution. However, I did run into one issue. Since there's no map, it's easy to get turned around, especially if you don't ascend after beating your first boss in the correct order. I made that mistake and ended up picking the wrong vortex to ascend. As a result, I finished the game early without realizing I missed several bosses, which was a bit frustrating. There's no way to go back down to explore or find secrets, and once I beat the final bosses, that was it. No new game plus or warning about missing content. Oh, forgot to mention, I really like that there's no map, so you have to learn the world as you go, which makes it even more enjoyable. Also, I loved petting the eagle whenever I could. Earth. Revival is another game set in a post-apocalyptic world under alien invasion. Survival game developed by Nuverse, the game offers you fast-paced combat, exploration, and character customization. I played Earth, Revival on an iPhone 11 for nearly 10 hours. The open world is vast and diverse, featuring different biomes and resources to gather. However, the game's balance of resources can feel off. While you'll be scavenging for food and water, you're also handling advanced technology and high-tech weapons, which can break immersion. Another downside is the rapid character leveling system. Progression is fast, with players reaching level 60 in just a few days, often leaving weapons and abilities lagging behind, which can make online battles frustrating. The storyline starts with you waking up from cryogenic sleep in a ruined world. Exploring various biomes, including decaying cities and frozen wastelands, are parts of the game you can't ignore. Base building and management are satisfying as you gather resources and defend against alien threats. The open world thing works for it. However, balancing survival elements while keeping the exploration going can be challenging. Graphics and music fit the theme, but can feel repetitive over time. The controls are intuitive, and the user interface is clean and easy to navigate. However, the game's monetization system, with multiple currencies, can feel pushy and encourage spending. Overall, Earth Revival is a fun action survival game, but the rapid progression and monetization may detract from a more balanced experience. Well, you play as Nikki in Infinity Nikki. Let me tell you about the storyline because this art is very gripping. Nikki's basically a human girl who discovers a magical red dress in her attic. The dress transports her and her talking cat, Momo, to a ruined castle where she meets Ina. Now, Ina is a mysterious figure imprisoned for 1,000 years. Ina explains that Nikki must find the 8 miracle outfits to uncover a truth hidden even from the gods in the game. As Nikki, you navigate through a variety of fantastical settings, battle monsters called Esselings, and unravel a complex story involving a cult, missing persons, and a godlike figure called the Prophet. Gameplay is a mix of exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. Nikki's fashion magic allows her to wear outfits with unique abilities, from fighting to floating. The ability to mix and match outfits is a fun feature, providing endless customization options. The dungeons, while limited in number, are creative and easy to navigate, with the Dream Warehouse standing out for its imaginative design. The lore and world building are surprisingly deep. The game includes over 6,000 years of history, a demon war, and multiple nations, each with unique cultures and belief systems. All of it kept me really engaged. Voice acting, music, and photography mode are all top-notch, enhancing the overall experience. With beautiful visuals, an intriguing storyline, and fantastic gameplay, love Nikki. Infinity is a very promising open-world game to me. Highly recommended. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video.